The air hung thick with tension as Lyra slipped through the shadowed alleyways of Celestia, her heart pounding like a distant drum. The city was alive with voices, whispers weaving through the streets, carrying secrets and threats alike. Here, sound was a weapon, and Lyra was the most skilled agent in the Whisper Guard, a clandestine order sworn to protect the realm from those who would exploit its vulnerabilities. Today, she was tasked with retrieving a stolen artifact, a crystal known to amplify whispers, before it fell into the hands of the notorious Syndicate. Her breath hitched as she approached the crumbling warehouse that served as the Syndicate's stronghold. The stench of damp stone mingled with the metallic tang of rust, and the faint glow of lanterns flickered like fireflies in the night. Every step she took felt heavy, the weight of her mission pressing down on her. Failure was not an option. The fate of her city rested on her silent shoulders. Lyra crouched behind an old cart, her senses heightened. She peered through a gap in the boards, spotting two Syndicate guards engaged in a hushed conversation. Their words floated toward her, sharp and clear. She had to get past them without a sound, but the slightest misstep could echo into the night. She inhaled deeply, centering herself, and dashed toward the side entrance, praying her movements were as quiet as the night itself. Just as she reached the door, her foot caught on a loose stone, sending her sprawling to the ground. The guards turned, their eyes narrowing, but Lyra rolled into the shadows, heart racing. She held her breath, willing the tension to dissipate. They exchanged glances but returned to their conversation, unaware of the near disaster. Lyra breathed a sigh of relief, her resolve hardening. This was only the beginning. Inside, the warehouse was a labyrinth of crates and shadows. Lyra crept through the maze, her fingers brushing against the cool surface of the boxes. Each heartbeat echoed in her ears, a reminder of the urgency of her mission. As she navigated deeper, she overheard a whispered exchange that made her blood run cold. The artifact was being transported to a secure location within the hour. If she did not act quickly, it would vanish from her grasp. With renewed determination, Lyra scaled the crates, using every ounce of agility she possessed. She spotted the shimmering crystal atop a pedestal in the center of the room, bathed in a ghostly light. But, as she prepared to leap down, a sudden creak reverberated through the stillness, and the guards turned once more. Panic surged through her, but she remained still, blending into the shadows, praying they would leave. Time slipped away like sand through her fingers. The guards resumed their post, but Lyra's window was closing. She knew she had to act, and this time she couldn't afford any blunders. She inched closer, her breath steadying as she prepared to seize the crystal. Just when she reached for it, a guard's foot fell onto a loose board, the sound reverberating through the air like a thunderclap. They spun around, eyes wide. Lyra's heart raced as she snatched the crystal, feeling its cool surface pulse with energy. She bolted toward the exit, the guards hot on her heels, their voices rising in alarm. She ducked and wove through the crates, adrenaline fueling her every move. The warehouse felt alive, shadows dancing as she slipped between them, her breath a mere whisper. Bursting through the side door, Lyra sprinted into the alley, the night swallowing her whole. The city was a blur as she raced against time, her mind focused on the path ahead. She could hear the guards shouting behind her, their voices echoing through the streets, but she was no longer a mere whisper. She was a force of nature. At last, she reached the edge of the city, the towering walls looming like sentinels. She skidded to a halt, glancing back to see the guards stop at the entrance, frustration etched on their faces. She held the crystal tightly, its energy thrumming against her palm. With a breath of relief, she realized her mission was complete. She had outmaneuvered the shadows and preserved the safety of Celestia. As she stood there, the city settling into a quiet calm, Lyra felt the weight lift from her shoulders. The whispers of danger had faded, replaced by the soft hum of the night. She had succeeded against the odds, a silent guardian in a world where every sound could betray. In the end, it was the power of her resolve, not just the whispers that filled the air, that had guided her to victory.